Did we start this show? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Online Real Estate School Incorporated. Just make sure we got the speaker working. Boom. All right. Making sure everything is working here. 1 second. Testing 1, 2, 3. Good. Everybody can hear me. Good. All right. Very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're looking to become a real estate agent, if you're looking to pursue a career in real estate, if you're looking to learn more about real estate, then you've come to the right place, ladies and gentlemen. This here is Online Real Estate School. We've been in existence going on 4 years now, and we are the top live streaming real estate platform in the business, bar none, hands down. Why? Because this is the way we want it to be. We wanted to be able to teach students from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh in a curriculum that would be advantageous for everyone to be able to attend. You know, ladies and gentlemen, some students don't do real well in an online course. Sometimes they're not understanding what they're reading. Sometimes they're not sure if they're learning. And if they just had a little guidance, a question that could be answered, a live advisor, somebody there that could help them, then the whole process would be so much better. So there's the flaw of the online courses, because even though they might have videos and PDFs and screens and so forth, it's still short of somebody that could be there to answer your personal question in a way that is not robotic, but sincere. And so the live streaming class that we do through a Zoom platform is being in person, talking to me, speaking to me, asking me questions in the classroom. So a virtual classroom, a live streaming classroom works much better than an online course, ladies and gentlemen. For most, anyway, not for everybody. Some are fine with an online course. You know who's not fine with the online course though, ladies and gentlemen, when it's all done and said? The person that you're probably going to go working for or working with is not going to be overly impressed to hear that you took an online course. And you know what's going to be even worse than an online course? Now, for the broker or for the employer, it's going to be the 3-week course. Because everybody knows, what are you going to learn in 3 weeks? How much real estate can you possibly learn in a 3-week period, ladies and gentlemen? And so the broker understands that if you're taking this crash course, then you're not willing to put in the time and the effort into your education, then chances are you're not willing to put in the time and the effort in your continued education with the broker. And a lot of brokers, ladies and gentlemen, or new employees or employees for new agents have to put a lot of work into a brand new agent, because you're not going to be an employee, which is important. In 9 out of 10 scenarios, you're not going to be an employee. You're going to be an independent contractor. Now, you could choose to do property management and be an employee and be trained as an employee. But as an independent contractor, you're running your own company. You're running your own business. And teaching someone how to run a real estate business isn't always the easiest avenue for a broker to take. This is why most brokers would prefer seasoned real estate agents, and they'll offer them much more commission. Now you can get 100% commission. Certain brokers, some reputable brokers out there, as a matter of fact, offer 100% commission even to a brand new real estate agent. But what they do lack, especially when they get so big, when they have 1,000 agents, what they lack is that hands-on ability to teach you how to run a real estate business. So when you're going with the broker really is trying to make money. That's what everybody's about. This is a capitalist world. That's why you got into the real estate business. You wanted to make money. And so you got into the right arena. But everybody's always looking for the least resistance of that money. And so, yes, even though there's a lot of money to be made in the real estate business, and even though this is a great time, don't you believe what you're hearing on television, ladies and gentlemen. So what? Interest rates went up almost a whole point. Big deal. It really does not matter in the grand scam of everything or the grand scheme of everything, because real estate is a long-term game. There's no such thing as wholesale retail flipping. Not really, ladies and gentlemen. What we have is renovators. So somebody who's going to buy a property, renovate that property, and then try to sell that property later at a profit after the renovation. That's true. We have that. But somebody who thinks they could buy a property today and flip it tomorrow would be grossly mistaken in Pennsylvania, because the title companies will not allow somebody to transfer the deed to the property in a 1 day period. It's called seasoning. And that person's going to have that deed for at least 90 days for most title companies before you're able to transfer the property or sell it again. So if you start hearing seminars about how you could buy a property and flip it the next day, or you could buy a property on an assignment and then sell it to somebody else as a wholesale retail flipper and make $3,000, or you could buy a property at no money down, all that is hogwash, at least in the legal scene, because you need certain things for a contract, like consideration. And if you don't have consideration, like a no money down deal, then you don't really have a legal contract in the state of Pennsylvania. And you can't sell something that you don't own. Even the banks know this, but most people don't know this. They don't even know what they're buying when they buy a property from the bank. I assure you, if the bank's name's not on the deed, you're going to be getting what's called a quick claim deed in that transfer. But when you try to do an assignment, when you try to flip a property that you don't own, where do you think you have the legal right to flip a property just because you have somebody else's contract? That's another thing. Assignment of mortgage, yes. Assignment of contract, no. So somebody else's contract does not give you the right to the property or to flip it or to sell it. Also, in order to receive compensation legally, you have to have a real estate license. So if you're doing these wholesale retail flips and you're charging somebody, because somebody's paying that 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever you are making on this wholesale retail flip, then that person who's paying the compensation was supposed to be receiving some type of representation. Without your real estate license, you are not entitled to any of that compensation. And you know where you're not going to get the compensation from? Back to the title company again, ladies and gentlemen. The title company will not authorize payment to anyone not legally entitled to compensation in this arena of transferring the property. So there's a lot of things that you're going to need to know about investing in property. One of the first things that I always recommend to all of my students and to those I speak to, if you want to start investing in real estate, may I suggest that you invest in yourself first with the knowledge by taking a class that is mandated by the state, so you know what you can and cannot do. You always hear those real estate investors saying you don't even need a real estate license. Notice that the real estate license is the biggest workaround for these investors to do. So they got to convince you that you don't need a real estate license to do these things. Now, remember, even these contracts that you're learning at these seminars may not be state regulated contracts. These folks might be from Florida or California or Arizona, and they come here to Pennsylvania with their seminars teaching their real estate courses, and their contracts are not even legal in this state. And yet they're selling them to you for $1,200, $1,500. Our contracts, our attorneys have already pre-approved these contracts. Your attorney might need to do a little bit of changes to accommodate your state. That's a big little bit of changes to accommodate your state, ladies and gentlemen, that they're just kind of brushing over. That's a lot. Now you need another $3,000 for an attorney to make sure that the contract is even legal. And the attorney's probably going to tell you, don't even bother with this contract. Here's a contract that we can use here in Pennsylvania that is much better than this seminar contract. at least when it comes to state regulation. When you take my class, ladies and gentlemen, the reason you're taking my class is to learn federal law, state law, and local law that complies with the real estate transactions from the beginning to the end. From the moment we take a listing all the way up to the settlement table, we need to know what we can and cannot do, what hurdles need to be done, like the home inspection, a termite inspection, certain inspections, flood check, tax checks, and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have the appraisal, and then we have the mortgage. We got the pre-approval. Then we have the loan commitment. All these things have to be done in a procedural manner. And the reason that you're taking a class like mine is to learn exactly what you can and cannot do legally when you represent yourself as an investor or when you're representing others as a real estate representative, rather be a buyer, a seller, a landlord, or a tenant. In order to receive compensation for your services to represent any of them, you have to have a real estate license. Without the real estate license, you are not entitled, not legally, to any form of compensation. And since you're not legally entitled to it, once again, the title company is not going to have it on the HUD-1 or the CD, depending on what your situation is, and it's not going to be there, not legally. So what a lot of these investors have to do is try to go after any of these fees. It's not the way to run a real estate business, ladies and gentlemen. We want to start investing in property. There are many other ways that we can start investing in property, and I'll teach you the auctions, how we work with at auctions, owner financing, seller financing, lease to purchase, rent to buy, first right of refusal. There are many different investment techniques that you can use to lock up property rather than trying to take advantage of somebody's misadvantage. And they've tried to make it sound, ladies and gentlemen, that you're doing somebody a favor. They're behind on their mortgage. And what you're trying to do is help them catch up on the mortgage, pay the back mortgage, and then help them in their situation. And they're going to sell the property to you because you paid all their back mortgage payments and taxes for them. I could give you the horror stories, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you exactly how that's going to work out. All right. And it's not going to work out good for you, the investor. No good deed goes unpunished in this business. Don't make other people's problems your problems. When somebody's behind on a mortgage, ladies and gentlemen, behind on a rent, 2 months, 3 months, there's really no catching up. There's the intention, there's the desire, there's the wish, but the extra income usually is not going to be there. And being able to live off the grid and make all the money you make for the next 3 months just to catch up on the back, it doesn't happen. It just really doesn't happen. And so trying to help somebody out in this predicament is really bad business. And you'll have to find that out as you go along, ladies and gentlemen. Here's one thing I could tell you. Somebody who's behind on a mortgage is probably behind on other bills as well, gas, electric, water, and so forth. And these liens will be on the property. So if you try to help somebody out with the mortgage, you might not know that there's other things in this property that are behind as well. And when people are behind on their bills, they kind of like not socialize. They don't answer the door. They don't answer the phone. They know it's just another bill collector or somebody that's trying to help them in their situation, and they're just not feeling it. They trust no one. Everyone's out to get them. So when you try to help this individual in their current depressed situation where they're not seeing clearly or straight, everybody's out to get them, it's very hard to help them in that situation. So you really got to understand how to invest in property, the timing, the mindset, and so forth. Let's talk about mindset right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. It is June 20th, 2020. And you would think it was June 20th, 1988, all over again under the Carter administration. I've never seen such lawlessness under a federal administration in my entire life. It is designed to be completely illegal. It is designed, I could not talk about somebody more bought and paid for than our current administration is right now. And so the current administration is designed to take the average person, anybody making $250,000 a year or less, the average person, because you might think $250,000 is a lot of money. We'll talk about the brackets. A dollar to 70,000 is low income. 70 to 250,000 is middle income, and anything over 250 is high income. So anybody who's low income and they have no respect for the president and this administration, no respect for them. They are the peasants. Anybody making 70,000 or less, and anybody making 70 to 250,000 is the middle income, and a big chunk of voters. And so this president has to make it sound like he's going to do some kind of tax cuts for the middle income because we got a midterm election coming up. But I assure you that this president, this administration could care less about you, this society, or this country, has been proven by the last year and a half of their efforts to destroy everything that we're familiar with. Pricing us out of gas, make it $10 a gallon. That'll stop them from driving and use alternative definition. Turn their heat off, turn their gas off. That'll teach them and make them use alternative energy and so forth. And you might think that going green is all healthy, but see what happens when it comes time to dispose of the lithium batteries, when it comes time to dispose of the solar panels, when it comes time to dispose of the nuclear waste. All of these alternative energies are going to have such dangerous environmental impact on our earth and our world, but you're not there yet. All right. I have to wait years sometimes to hear you were right. Sometimes I get it in a couple of weeks. Sometimes I get it in a couple of months. Sometimes it takes years before somebody will say to me, you were right. But it really does me no good knowing that I was right when the rest of society was not there. However, ladies and gentlemen, I have learned, just like our government, to take advantage of our society when our society does not want to educate itself or take the will to improve itself. And so, fortunately for me, I deal with just the small minority of the population that wants to improve themselves, that wants to better themselves, that wants more information and more knowledge. So I'm very lucky that I deal with that group of individuals. I don't deal with the lazy couch setter. I don't deal with the lazy brained. I don't deal with the lazy for the most part. I'm blessed. I deal with the overachievers, the entrepreneurs, those who are looking to do more and better for themselves. They're not looking for a handout. They're not about to cry about it. They know that they have to brush themselves off and make it work because nobody else is going to do it for them. And a entitlement check, as we know, is not going to sustain you. An entitlement check has made a lot of people lazier, doesn't want to work now that they had some unemployment checks, some welfare checks. Now they don't really want to make an effort, and I don't have to deal with that. And this is why I said I'm very, very lucky in this regards. I only deal with the overachievers, the entrepreneurs, those who want better in life. And so I'm very lucky and very blessed to deal with just a small group. And this is why my numbers on my YouTube channel aren't that great, but don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I'm live streaming through many platforms right now, through Facebook, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, through YouTube, through Gab, through Getter, and so forth. There's lots of social media sites that I'm live streaming to right now, but some of them you probably never even heard of. And I'm always looking for a new avenue to live stream too. So I don't work with videos. Anybody could do a video and make it look good by cutting and splicing it. I don't do pre-recorded shows. Anybody could do a pre-recorded show. Nothing to brag about there, ladies and gentlemen. What I do is live streaming. Every Monday, 6 p.m., I get on here no matter what. And I just beat the clock by 2 minutes today. 2 minutes. I said everything set up and on go. I even had to check my volume to make sure that that was working. And so understand that live streaming is what I prefer. Everything in life is live streaming. The real estate is live streaming. Your life is live streaming. Everything is live streaming. This is what I prefer. And my audience actually prefers it as well. So I like doing the live stream and I like the live stream classes. So when you come to my class, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be running a Father's Day promo all the way up until the end of June. We'll talk about that later. But in any event, when you come to my class, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you that, and see my reviews, see all the students, talk to any of the students I've ever had. I'm very blessed to have 5-star reviews. Again, as I said, since I work with the overachievers, because the lazy individual is not going to invest $300 in themselves. They're not going to invest $50 in themselves. All right. They want somebody else to pay their fee for them. So I don't have to deal with that part of our society. I only deal with the overachievers, those who want more education, want more answers, want more guidance, more direction. And so they're looking to make for themselves. They're not looking for a handout. So I don't deal with the crybabies. And I'm glad, and I don't mind telling you that I don't deal with that. And so when I'm dealing with my clientele, the people that come to my class, they're all trying to have a better life. And I'm very happy to give that to them. So my reviews are real, ladies and gentlemen, because all my students have appreciated what they've earned and what they received in my class. Also, ladies and gentlemen, when you take my class, once you pay for it, you never pay for it again. You may come back to the class over and over and over again anytime you want. I always send out a link on the very first class each month to all my students, to any student who wants to come back and sit in the class. You're welcome to do that. So once you pay for the class, you never have to pay for it. As I said in my class, and this is what makes my school so unique, and this is what makes my school so advanced, ladies and gentlemen. Many brokers are trying to get to my students before they even take the exam. Literally trying to get to my students because they know that my students are worth well more than any other student coming out of any other school. Because the other schools, ladies and gentlemen, are designed to do exactly what they were programmed to do. They're designed to help you and prep you to pass an exam. That's exactly what they're done. That's exactly what they're designed for. And if you pass, you pass. You don't, you don't. You're welcome to take the class all over again. Our job is to prep you for the exam. And if you didn't pass the exam, then the chances are you failed yourself. We didn't fail you. All right. So that's what most schools are designed to do, to prep you to take an exam. My school, if you read my reviews, you'll see that not only am I going to prep you to pass an exam, I'm also going to teach you how to run a real estate business with 30 years of experience backing me. I'm also going to teach you how to invest in property legally and ethically. This is what the first 15 minutes of the show is all about: investing in property legally, ethically, the correct way, so you don't lose money, especially if you're bidding on property and you got a minimum bid and you're putting already $30,000 on that bid. Can you afford to lose $30,000 if you don't know how to bid on that property properly? So we'll talk about these things in the class. Many different types of auctions, and there are different procedures in Philadelphia, Bucks County, Montgomery County, Warren County, Luzerne County, Erie County, and so forth. So there's many procedures in the different counties in these auctions. Some auctions, the junior liens are wiped out. Some auctions, the junior liens are not wiped out. So what's a junior lien? We'll talk about it. It's predecessor to the first mortgage. All right. So a second mortgage, a third mortgage, a fourth mortgage would be considered a junior lien to the first mortgage. And we'll talk about subordination in the class on how you might be able to change your lien position. But in the class is where you're going to learn the real estate arena, ladies and gentlemen, especially my class. And if you didn't learn real estate the first time around, since you're welcome to come back anytime you want, you will naturally gain more knowledge the second and the third time. The first time you rode that bike, you were nervous, you were scared, and you fell. Second time, you learned a little bit more and you stayed on that bike almost a minute longer. And then on the third time, you were up to almost 5 minutes on that bike before you fell down again. But you kept getting back up. And each time you got back on that bike, you learned something from the mistakes that you made in the previous lesson. You'll learn to do something different the next lesson. So each lesson, 3-4 lessons of riding that bike, now You're pretty much putting all the pieces together, and now you got the mechanics and the balance of riding the bike. That's the exact same way that I teach my class, ladies and gentlemen. I teach you on how to put all your puzzle pieces together first. So the first thing we got to do whenever we're getting a puzzle or gaining knowledge is we're taking lots of notes and we're making sure that all these notes are our puzzle pieces. And when we start putting it together, then it all comes together, knowledge comes together. So I teach my students that real estate is like a puzzle. And what we need to do is get all our pieces, lay all our pieces out, our corner pieces, our middle piece, our end pieces. And then once we have all our notes and our pieces, then we can start putting the puzzle together. And that's the way that I teach this class. There's no way that Rome was built in a day. And you always say it to yourself. You said it 1,000 times, if not more. If I knew now what I knew then, things would be different. If I knew then what I know now, things would be different. All right. And so you never know how it works out, ladies and gentlemen, but you're not going to gain the knowledge that you have now instantly. It took all the years of trial and error and mistakes and learning and process to get to the knowledge that you have now. And you're going to be gaining more knowledge before you leave this earth as life goes on and the years go by. So knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. So I'll teach you that you can't have all the answers in one day. You're going to have to apply yourself. It's going to take the 75 hours, and we'll be very redundant. After 75 hours in my class, which is an 8-week class, 4 weeks for practice, 4 weeks for fundamentals, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. After 8 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll see by my reviews, you'll see by the video I'll play for you in a second, you'll leave my class with not only the knowledge, but the confidence to go out and achieve. And so that's what I do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the real estate arena. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Warren Nelson. I am a licensed real estate broker here in the state of Pennsylvania, broker of record. I own my own company called IS Realty, and I share this with partners. So we started this brokerage strictly for brand new real estate agents, the agents that no other brokers really want, because new agents are a lot of work. They are. They're starting out, they're inquisitive, they'll make lots of mistakes. Those mistakes could be liable mistakes. And there's a lot of hands-on and oversight with brand new agents. But we started IS Realty, ISS Realty. We started it for the general purpose of taking brand new agents, some right out of the classroom, and teaching them how to run a real estate business. So this school is incorporated with a continued education classroom called my brokerage to teach you even how to interview brokers in the class, because most students will never learn how to interview a broker. No school's really ever going to do that. That's not part of the prerequisite to learn how to interview a broker. But I'll teach you that. And I'll show you that a lot of brokers will try to take advantage of you, ladies and gentlemen, and rightfully so. It is the business. You're brand new. You've never done it before. Why would you think that you're worthy of receiving 100% commission when you don't even know what you're doing just yet? So a broker starting out with a new agent really doesn't really want to work with the new agent. First of all, they will, but it's not their top desire. But when they hear that you're a brand new agent and you took a 3-week class or an online course, they're really hoping that you decide not to go with that broker. And that broker is really going to cut your commission down as much as they can in hopes that you decide to go somewhere else, so that we don't offend you. You just wasn't happy with the 50-50 commission that we offered you. And we're saying, sure, if somebody's willing to offer you more, you may go there. All because the broker really doesn't want to spend a lot of time, money, and effort with a brand new agent. So when you have a brokerage designed for brand new agents, which is very, very rare, then it makes the next step after taking the class and getting a real estate license already lined up, already knowing where you want to go, because that's where it was a big complaint that a lot of my students were saying, that they love the atmosphere in the class. They love the environment. They love coming back and forth to class. They didn't want to miss a day of class. But after they graduated, the same camaraderie, the same arena, the same atmosphere was nowhere to be found when they started interviewing brokers. It wasn't as pleasant as it was in school. So by design, I tried to make the class lively by being a little humorous. Depends on your demeanor and if you think I'm funny or not. Some of my students think I'm funny, some not so funny. So it depends on you. I try to add court cases. I try to add real live events into a learning lesson, working with a buyer, working with a seller at this point, at this time. Here's what to expect. Here's what's going to be the outcome. So I'm not only teaching the curriculum, but I'm bringing it to life so that you can literally perform the lessons that you're learning in a real live real estate situation. And so that's what we try to do here in this class. And this is why Online Real Estate School Inc. has a much better reputation than any other school. Oh, one other factor that I guess is a major factor is I do all the instructing. I am the director of the school and I am your instructor, where most schools will hire somebody to teach you. And this person really doesn't have at heart your best interest, as this is probably just another form of income for the instructor. And that's it. Whether you pass or fail, they still get paid. And so a lot of schools are designed flawlessly, like mine, and other schools are designed with a lot of fault lines that prevent the student. The student is ultimately the one who suffers when you have all these fault lines in a badly managed school. And so that's is what makes mine. And how many schools, ladies and gentlemen, would do like I do? I'm doing a live stream. The purpose of this live stream is not really to teach you real estate. I can't do that in an hour. This is to help you in your research, because right now you're trying to decide what school you want to go to. What's going to be the best course? I don't want to make a mistake. I'm making an investment and I don't want to make a mistake and putting out $600 with the wrong school, and then I'll have nothing but regret afterwards. And so in your research, ladies and gentlemen, you saw my reviews. You found me on the Google. You found that I was the first top 3 in the Google search. And so you know, with the reviews and my search engine optimization of where I am, that I've been around a while. And I've been here and I'm going to continue to be here, God willing, as long as the man says it's okay to be here, then I'll be here, continuing to do what I love, educating others. And the reason that I do this, ladies and gentlemen, is because you probably already heard my pet peeve about lazy entitlement individuals. I want to make sure that you get the best of the best as far as education goes. And so if you're willing to invest in yourself, which very few people are willing to do, they'll throw $300 in a slot machine before they'll invest $300 on themselves. Notorious. It's a hands down no brainer. And so people, when it comes to managing, not everybody knows how to manage properly. And a lot of people mismanage their money, their affairs, their life. And so if you can drop $300 in a slot machine, but you analyze and analyze and analyze rather if it's worth $300 for your education, then there might be a slight management problem right there, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm here every Monday to try to encourage you to, one, see my teaching style, see the way I'm teaching, so it helps you analyze your options and make a calculated move. And two, to show you the effort that I put in to helping my students. No other school has an instructor doing this. They might have videos. Anybody can do a video. They might even have a pre-recorded show that they do where they record it and dub it and then just throw it out there. But how many people, how many schools have a live instructor that does a live streaming class with you to give you an idea of what you're going to be stepping into should you decide to pursue real estate as a passion, as a desire, as a form of income? Then you want the best that money can buy when you're investing, and you want the best return on your investment. So Online Real Estate School has made a name for itself, ladies and gentlemen. The brokers are always trying to get my students. Why? Because I told you, I teach my students how to run a real estate business. Brokers love that. I teach my students how to invest. Brokers love it because you have lots of investors that could be your client. And if you know how to invest, then you can help your investor in a representative way and an investment way. So the brokers know, as you'll see by some of my students' reviews, the brokers know that the students coming out of my class, they have a much better understanding and grasp of the business of real estate than most coming out of any other school in Pennsylvania. Once again, not talking disparagingly about the school, that's not my intention. My intention is to make it clear that most schools have a directive to teach you how to pass a exam. I have a directive to not only teach you how to pass an exam, but to also teach you how to run a real estate business, which is really the whole purpose of why you're taking this class. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, enough about me. Before we get into some of our lessons that you would like to have in a class like this, let me let you hear from some of my previous students before we continue.
Well, this school was the only school.
The reviews for me.
After reading your
Sorry about that.
was the only school with 5-star reviews. I did a lot of research.
The information that you give us is just like amazing.
I had a family member that attended your school and they just spoke wonders about you.
I think like most of everybody in the class, it was the reviews for me.
After reading your reviews and just trusting my friend, he said, you're 100% the way to go. And I do not regret it at all whatsoever.
Your school is amazing.
Talking to you, it was within my expectations.
And the broker knows like, okay, this person, wherever they're going to school, like they know what they're doing.
Once I talked to you and spoke to you, I was just like, okay, I think this is the right school.
Personally, I have a very good friend that's actually in the real estate business already a broker. He actually recommended you to be a teacher.
Like served as a mentor, just as many others have said. So it's been a pleasure. It really has.
After your classes, I become like more knowledge and it's great. It's great job because
You care about all your students.
He's more than a teacher. He's a mentor. He's someone you look up to.
And you're a great teacher, to be honest with you. You slow down when people have a question. You review things as many times as we need you to.
But you take this time, you actually read to us to get to know and understand this. And I am so ready.
very glad that I chose your school. It's online school, so it's great for me because you don't have to travel anywhere. I just choose you and it was a great, it was a great time.
I thank you, and I will take this class over and over and over and over and over.
One of the best teachers ever.
This would be really good for me. And then I think what really put me in was once I talked to you on the phone.
I did see the 5-star review. I did look around a little bit.
I mentioned you. Your school is like really, a lot of people knows about your school.
And I was a little bit skeptical because 5-star reviews, no business, no nothing has 5-star reviews. But it worked out amazing, and I'm happy I chose this school.
But the information that you give, that you get more than a lot of teachers out there get. Oh, absolutely. I think the school actually really went beyond my expectations.
I cannot thank you enough for the experience and this preparation to run my own business.
It's like more information that you give us, the more knowledge I just lock that into my brain, and I know I'm just going to get out there and achieve a lot of things. Working with you has been a pleasure. It really has. You served as a mentor.
And I would definitely recommend that anyone who is looking into any kind of real estate development.
Here's my number, ladies and gentlemen. We will talk to each other before you come to my class, 267-972-1084. You can go to my website, online, Real Estate School Inc. and online realestateschoolinc.com, and I'll get some more information about your future endeavors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear my students? Did you hear the confidence that my students had? Did you hear the atmosphere? They were happy. They were liking the class. They were liking what they were learning in the classroom. So this is one thing that I like to do, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm doing this class, is to see the results, to see the improvements in your ability to run a real estate business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just share my screen with everybody. If I may, I want to give you my calendar that you can see on my upcoming classes. We have already started our June 14th class because today is June 20th. This is our 2022 calendar. Our next class starts on July 14th, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, July 19th, our next class starts. We have a morning class, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 to 1. And July will be the real estate fundamental class in the morning. The evening class, ladies and gentlemen, is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well. And July 19th, the evening class will be real estate practice. As you can see, we got real estate practice in the evening, real estate fundamentals in the morning. So they're two separate classes. They're not the same. Most of you will only be able to, because of your schedule, because you're an overachiever, because you're squeezing in every minute of the day, many of you will only be able to do either one class, the evening class, or maybe the morning class, which means that you'll do real estate fundamentals in July, and then you'll do real estate practice in August. So it's a 4-week class for real estate fundamentals, July 19th to August 11th. Then it's a 4-week class for real estate practice, August 23rd to September 15th. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a thorough knowledge of real estate, you're not going to get that in a 3-week class. It's not going to happen. You'd be lucky to learn enough to prep the exam in a 3-week class. And on an online course, don't be surprised if your online course ends up being longer than 2 months, even though you took an online course hoping that you'd be done in 2 hours. Doesn't quite work out the way you planned. So this 8-week class, ladies and gentlemen, is designed to give you a thorough understanding of the real estate business in such a way that you feel confident about what you have learned in this period. This is a good return on your investment, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know how many people waste money on a 3-week class only to be very disappointed afterwards by not feeling any more confident in our ability to pass the exam, other than maybe a few things that they learned in that 3-week class. So the whole investment could be for naught. It's $299 for real estate practice and $299 for real estate fundamental, depending on where you start. Now, there is no first fundamental, then practice, or first practice, then fundamental. They're 2 separate subjects, 2 separate required learning. And so it doesn't matter which one you learn first. What does matter is you have to learn them both. So that's what we teach: real estate practice and real estate fundamentals. Why? What is real estate practice? What is real estate fundamental? Why does the state require that you have these 2 subjects in order to be licensed to help others? Well, let's talk about that. Real estate practice. Real estate practice is the business, ladies and gentlemen. You are now a licensed real estate professional. And when you take real estate practice, it teaches you how to hold your client's hand and walk them through the whole process from the very beginning to the very end. You understand the business, the real estate business, and that's what we call real estate practice, because you're practicing real estate. Just like you're practicing law, you're practicing medicine, you're practicing real estate. As a business, the practice is what you're learning. And so when you come to my class and we teach real estate practice, I'm going to delve you right into the contracts, right into working with the client, right into negotiating how the negotiations could go good and go bad very, very quickly. And knowing what to say and when to say is what I teach you in my class. So it's very important. So real estate practice is the business, and knowing how to run a real estate business, or how to run your real estate practice, that's the business. Knowing how to represent the client, knowing how to negotiate the contract, knowing how to explain the process is the real estate practice. That, to some, is the better of the 2, because real estate fundamental deals with the law. And not everybody finds law exciting. And so we have three types of law in the real estate business that are our starting point: federal law, state law, and local law. And so you have to have a very good understanding of these three laws as they apply in the real estate business. Plus, there's many other laws like fair housing law and discrimination. We got the American Disability Act. We have many other types: contract law, agency law, zoning laws. And so you got to know the difference of building permits and so forth. So we got a lot of legal stuff. Can I take a single family property and turn it into a rooming house? Can I take a single family property and turn it into a duplex? Legally, chances are the answer would be no, until we get our variance to change the zoning. Of course, we might need a group hearing, a public hearing, we call it, where the neighbors come and say yay or nay, or maybe we might need signatures to try to change the zoning. We'll talk about the procedure. The group hearing, the public hearing would be the better route than the signature. Lot involved with the signature. But again, real estate fundamentals deals with the legal aspects of what you legally can and cannot do with this property. Can the buyer do what they want with the property after they buy the property legally? All right, so if buyer's telling you they want to turn this property into a rooming house, then you will let them know that legally, this property is probably not zoned for a rooming house or a multifamily property. And in order to do that legally, you would have to have some legal requirements like zoning change. So real estate fundamentals deals with the legal aspects of what you can legally do, what you legally can't do. What do you need for a legal contract? What forms do you need to have your clients under in order to represent them? So real estate fundamentals delves into real estate practice. You really can't have real estate practice without understanding real estate fundamentals. It doesn't matter which one you learn first, fundamentals or practice, but you really can't have the real estate practice without understanding the fundamentals, without understanding the platform, without understanding how to negotiate your commission, without understanding how to understand your compensation and what you're entitled to, what you're not entitled to, who you can charge, who you cannot charge, who can you pay, who you can't pay. So these are the things that the state requires that you understand: real estate practice, real estate fundamental. Now, let me give you something that you'll probably learn. You'll definitely learn in my class, but you'll probably learn out there. Do you know the difference between a deed and a title? Do you know the difference between the deed and the mortgage? There's a lot of things. Do you know which type of homeowners insurance you should have? Do we need flood insurance? Is it included in the homeowners insurance policy? So all these things that we're going to give you a basic. Let me give you an example. If you buy a property today here in Pennsylvania and you get a 30-year mortgage, do you own that property day one, or do you own that property 30 years later when you make your final payment? Now, if you've tuned into this class on Mondays before, you already know the answer because you've taken several of my free classes. And you've seen me use this analogy in this class many times. So once again, you buy a property here in Pennsylvania, you get a 30-year mortgage. Do you own that property day one, or do you own that property 30 years later when you make the final payment? Because Pennsylvania is a lien theory state, not a title theory state, in Pennsylvania, you own that property day one. Don't get the deed and the mortgage confused. The mortgage is a loan. That has nothing to do with the ownership of the property. You, even though you got a 30-year mortgage, your name goes on the deed. You become the owner of the property day one because Pennsylvania is a lien theory state. That means the bank only has a lien against the property. That property is their collateral. They don't own it. You own it. Your name's on the deed. But you do have a personal loan or a mortgage out with the lender, and the lender has a right to secure that loan through collateral or security known as your property. So they'll use the property as collateral or security for the loan, but they don't own the property. Their name's not on the deed. And so when you buy foreclosed property and you buy REO property, which is known as bank-owned property, then I guarantee you, you better have an attorney or you better have some knowledge, because I guarantee you, you do not know what you're buying when you buy a foreclosed property or when you buy an REO or a bank-owned property, because the bank's not selling you the property, they're selling you their interest. And you didn't know this. You thought you were buying a property, but you're not. You're getting a quick claim deed and an addendum, a big addendum, that says that you understand that you would have to quiet the title and that there's a per diem that if you don't settle when you say you're going to settle, because now you got to track down the old owner and see if they'll sign the deed, and now you're worried about buying this property because now at this last minute you start learning, but the bank's already got you. Now they're going to hit you up with $100 a day per penalty, per diem, if you don't settle when you said you were going to settle. So you better understand what you're doing when you start working with the banks and when you start working in real estate investment. You think you know what an assignment of mortgage is? I guarantee you don't. You think you understand what counteroffer is? I guarantee you, you do not in this business, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to learn real estate, then I suggest you take my class, which is a state mandated class to know what you should know before you start investing in real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Warren Nelson, and our next class starts July 19th. And I always say that as long as you're paid by July 17th, 2 days before the class, because the day before class, we have an orientation class. The orientation class is designed to make sure that your ebook is working, your Zoom is working, your computers, your systems working. So we have an orientation class the day before. So July 19th is our next class. And I always say, as long as you had your $299 paid by July 17th, you're good to go. But I'm still running my Father's Day special, ladies and gentlemen. If you pay for this class by the end of June, then I will be giving you a $50 discount right off the bat, plus a little Father's Day gift for your second payment as well. We'll talk about that for those who sign up. So before June 30th, if you pay your $299 before June 30th for the July 19th, you can rate automatically. We'll take a $50 discount off of the price. So instead of it being $299, it's $249. And I have a little surprise for my students for those who sign up under the Father's Day promotion. So I'm going to run this Father's Day promotion all the way up until the end of June. So you know that you're going to get a $50 rebate or discount off of the price. And don't forget, it's two classes. It's $299 for real estate practice, and it's $299 for real estate fundamental. So it's $598 for the class, but I don't charge my students $598 up front like all of the schools do. I break it in half for my students, $299 1 month. And as long as you're satisfied, as long as you're happy by what you're learning, then it's $299 for the second class. But if you're not happy, if you're not learning, then you don't have to make the investment of $299 for the second class. No other school does this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the only school that does it. So it's $299, $299. But if you pay by the end of June, and I'll be running this all the way up to June 30th, you can start with a $50 discount. We'll take $50 off the first class, and I have a lot of little something special for you on the second class as well, but only those who sign up under the Father's Day promotion and make their payment for the July 19th class before June 30th. If you make your payment before June 30th, I don't want to hear the crying that you wanted to, something was wrong with your computer, you couldn't get it done, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to work with me, ladies and gentlemen. I only reward success. I do not reward failure. So if you make the payment before June 30th, not only going to get a $50 discount, but I got something else special for you, but only those who qualify under the Father's Day will know the second portion that I'm not going to be giving out, but you'll be very, very happy that you got under the Father's Day promotion if you sign up. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is the quickest hour in real estate. The hour is already done. And basically, it's the Monday, 6 p.m. every Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I have this class. Tell your friends about it. Tell those who are interested in real estate. This class is designed not as a video, not as an affiliate selling things. There's no affiliate here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have nothing for sale here. All I'm talking about is your future, your investment in yourself, not a slot machine, and to give you the best that money can buy and give you the best real estate knowledge that is possible. Not only that, my class is available to you over and over and again. You never have to pay for it again. Free of charge. You're welcome to come back. I have students that have been in my class 2, 3, 4 years. They're already either licensed or they haven't got licensed yet. Life got in the way, and they still want to keep coming back to the class because eventually going to be taking the exam as soon as life stops getting in the way. The children, the school, the job. So there's always a reason for my students sometimes not to be able to take the state exam because life gets in the way. And if that happens to you as well, ladies and gentlemen, don't lose your desire. Know that your alma mater, Online Real Estate School Inc., will always be here available for you. Since it's a live streaming class, I'll always have seating arrangement. That's another problem. If I can only have 30 students in the class, which was a big school, then I wouldn't be allowed to invite others back because my goal would always be having those 30 students, which would be the max that I could hold in an in-person on-campus class for the most part. So now that it's live streaming, you're welcome back anytime you want. You can ask me questions, talk to me, speak with me, just as if you were sitting in the classroom without any disruptor. You don't have to worry about somebody coughing or sneezing next to you. You don't have to worry about spending $200 for a tank of gas for this class. You don't have to worry about parking or rushing around or anything like that. Plus, you also know where the bathrooms are. So it makes life a little even easier. As I said, a little humor. Some will find it funny, some won't, but to each their own. So ladies and gentlemen, we come down to the end. Online Real Estate School. I offer 2 classes. I have a morning class, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday. Next class starts July 19th. Now, some of you overachievers want to get in there. You figured, oh, well, I only missed like a week. That's true. You did. And since you can take my class over and over again, you literally can jump into my class anytime you want. You don't have to wait for the very first day of class because we're going to be so redundant. But some of you will feel better starting at the very beginning. Fine by me. July 19th is our next class. As I said, if you pay for this class, which is $299 for this class, if you pay for this class before June 30th, we're going to take a $50 discount off of that. Plus, I have something else, little special for you. Only those who are under the Father's Day promotion will know about the second special. Nobody else will know about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my Father's Day gift, and I'm going to run it all the way to the end of the month to June 30th. So, to get yourself maybe at least $100 off the price, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about $50, could possibly even be more than that. But in any event, you know you're getting 50 off of it. If you're wise, if you are frugal, if you are those that like to save money whenever you can, then here's an opportunity. Online Real Estate School is a live streaming class, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to teach you how to run a real estate business. I'm going to teach you how to invest in property. I'm going to teach you the easy way of doing math. Students hate math and they hate testing. And they already put themselves at a disadvantage, and that's the way it's designed to keep you at a disadvantage. And I'm going to teach you the right mindset, the way that you control the 2 parts of the brain, the 2 hemispheres of the brains. We'll talk about that in the class. And putting you in the right mindset is going to change your world right off the get-go. So I'm going to teach you the easy way of doing math through the 3 variables. And once you learn the math, you'll never forget it. And we're also going to teach you long-term memory techniques in the class. Remembering names, remembering time frames, remembering techniques is very, very important in the real estate business. So having this ability to improve your ability to remember things in the class is another bonus that most schools would not give you, ladies and gentlemen. So July 19th. Now, there's going to be many more of these free classes every Monday before July 19th. I'm looking at probably 3 or 4 more before the July 19th class. So every Monday, 6 p.m., I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Turn it on. I give you the links. I hope to see you in my class. And I'm looking forward to making you a licensed real estate professional this year. Be well, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. God willing, I'll see some of you next Monday. And I hope to see all of you in my class. And I look forward to making you a licensed real estate professional. Show you how to make real money, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest, the highest compensation you probably ever receive in your lifetime is going to be coming by two things, commission and real estate. Probably going to be the most money you ever made. And I'm looking forward to being part of that journey with you to show you how to take this road to a very comfortable and nice lifestyle if you're willing to invest $300 in yourself. Well, let's take $1 off and make it $2.99. Not everybody's willing to invest in themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, the casino's always there for your $300 if you don't want to invest it in yourself. Otherwise, I'll be seeing those who want to invest in themselves and learn the real estate arena. I'll be looking forward to seeing you next Monday. Be looking forward to seeing you in my class. Be safe, be healthy, be happy, God will, and I'll see each of you again soon.